Very good morning and welcome to another Fishing Tale Films. And as you can probably see, I'm back down the beautiful Milton Lake at Bury Hill Fishery near Dorking in Surrey. It's one of my favourite places to fish and I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to fish in the margins as I normally like to do. That's where the fish are going to be. As I scan round you can see all the lily pads. That's where they're going to be, and tucked in down by the margins as well. Let's get the tackle out and let's get fishing. Just mixing up my ground bait mix, which is one of my favourite mixes to use on Milton. It's I think I've shown it before in a previous video, which is the Dynamite Bait Swim Stim Betaine Green. It's fantastic, and fish in Milton absolutely love it, especially the Tench and the Crucians. And I get a good mix up, just adding the water little and often until I get the right consistency. Give it about 10 minutes, maybe 15, to soak the water in, and then if I feel it needs damping down again, then I'll just add a little bit more water until I get that right consistency. And I'll be sort of using sort of balls about that size feeding into the swim. It breaks down nicely again, so the mix is almost there. And then once I've got the right mixture, as you can see, I've got some pieces of sweet corn in the mix and some hemp as well, and so it gives the fish something to sort of feed around, search for a bit of particle bait in there, and it sort of keeps them feeding in the swim a bit longer. And to kick off the swim while I settle my gear up, I'm going to introduce 4 sort of hand size balls of ground bait out into the margins and let it settle while I'm setting up my tackle. So you see it's nice and crumbly there. And it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then after that I'm just going to introduce a little bit of loose hemp over the top and maybe a few maggots. Now, another reason for wanting to come and fish down Milton today is because I can try these wagglers out. They're from Black Bottom Floats. Thanks very much, Andy, for sending these down to me to try out. They look absolutely brilliant. They're so well made. At the end of this video, or at the bottom of the video in the description, I'll put a link to Andy's YouTube channel because he shows you how he makes these, and they're a fantastic watch. They really are. All sorts of floats. And Andy's also got an eBay shop as well, so you can buy these as well. And like I say, I'll put the links down underneath the video. And these are waggler floats. They're all marked up 4BB. The one I've put on is actually 4BB plus a number 6. So they've all been like individually weighted, so you've got some idea of the size of them. while you're shotting them up as well. Yellow tip, I've got a yellow tip on because I've got sort of dark water, and I think that will show up really well, especially on the camera. And I can't wait to get my first bite on these magnificent floats. So black bottom floats, thanks very much for sending them down, and I shall look forward to trying them out in today's session. Let's get fishing. Well, as I say on many of my videos, the first cast of the day is always the most exciting because it can set up the rest of the session. My first cast on Andy's black bottom floats waggler. There you go, looks lovely. I'm using double worm, which has caught me so many fish, especially tench and crucians as well, and hopefully be the same story again today. Fingers crossed. Well, I'm hoping to catch a few crucians today, and there's plenty in here, so I've got a real good chance of that. But my fascination with the crucian stems from when I was a young boy, fishing with my dad and my uncle. We used to go down to a place called Cartwright sandpits in Essex, and we used to catch, or they used to catch, lots of crucians, and I struggled. I was only young, and the crucians could be so fiddly. Nice little rub there, lovely colours, and the float would dip, go up and dip, and it used to take forever to develop into a proper bite, because I didn't have the patience then, and I would strike too early. I'd either bump the fish off or completely miss the bite. And it used to drive me up the wall, but I was determined to catch these wonderful fish. Sit there and watch me dad and my uncle catching them, and I thought one day that's going to be me. I'm going to be catching these lovely buttery gold fish. And as I progressed and developed my angling skills and the finesse, I started to catch them, and they've always been my favourite species because they were so hard to catch in the early days, and I stuck at it. And they're just amazing fish, they really are. And I've travelled far and wide to catch them. We chatting about the crucians here, must have brought them on the feed. My first fish of this morning session. Well, I've had a couple of small run and a tiny perch, but what a nice way to start the day. Nice crucian, a Milton Lake crucian. Brilliant. Now one of the main baits that I'll be using today, it's very successful, is these small dendrobina worms. And I often get asked the best way to keep the worms. Well, I tend to, this bag I've got here, this core bag, it's a JRC one. I've had it probably about 15, 16 years. It's still going strong. It zips up. It's got a foil inside, and I just place these in the fridge, and the worms have stayed for about sort of two to 3 months sometimes. If you keep them obviously out of the sun whilst you're fishing, because sunlight kills them almost straight away. And so I'll try and keep them at a steady temperature, even when I'm out on the bankside, and they can last forever. So it's well invested in some sort of cool bag with a zip. Stick it in the fridge, and your worms will last quite a long time. Looks like I'm into my first tench of today. Double red worm. Up he comes, and in the net he goes. What a cracking looking fish. I've just had my first tench of this morning's session. Hopefully it won't be the last. Nice looking fish. 2 pieces of red worm, which is the old tench cannot resist the old red worms, can they? Provided the rod don't get there first. The tench are there waiting to snap it up. So let's pop him back and see if there's any more out there. Fantastic, crucian and a tench. Good start. Well, as you can see, the sun is out now, and you all know what I feel about the sun there now. It doesn't really give the perfect fishing conditions. I've had 3 crucians and a tench so far on a variety of baits. I'm trying all the different baits. There's lots of rudd. The rudd are very active at the moment, so I'm trying and see if I can bring them on the feed, get that bait. They're fizzing in there. There's a bit of fizzing going on, and a lot of my indications I think are liners. So there seems to be a bit of cloud build up, so hopefully the sun can disappear behind the clouds, then you might have a bit of a chance of landing some more fish, but it's very slow at the minute. Milton can be like this. You can have absolutely brilliant days, bite a chunk, fish a chunk, and then you get these days where they make your weight for your bites, your proper bites, and looks like today's one of them days, but that's the way it is. That's what fishing's all about. If it was too easy, we'd get bored, wouldn't we? I thought I had some tench down there with all that fizzing going on. Managed to get another tench after waiting, and floats dipping up and down, and some missed bites, but double red worm again, stripes again, and nice looking fish. Got up a nice scrap. This nice looking Crucian came on a piece of the swim stem paste, the ready to use paste. Always carry a little tub just in case, and produced this bite straight away, so we'll give it another try. Lovely looking fish, nice and clean. Well, I have to say I've been really impressed with the bite detection on these handmade waggler floats by Black Bottom Floats. They are showing up every little knock. I've had some fantastic lift bites where the floats come right out of the water because they're so visual. They're so easy to spot, and really impressed with these. I highly recommend them, and check out Andy's eBay site, Black Bottom Floats. You won't be disappointed. Like I say, they come highly recommended. Give them a try. Well, it's been a bit of a tricky day today. The fish really occupied with fizzing. I mean, I must admit I held off on the ground bait, and they were just erupting the bottom. I think they were like looking for more, and because I got that scent, that swim stem scent, and there was some empoil in there as well. They were rooting the bottom, but they weren't really having the bait. So I've had some on paste, on worms, on small little pellets, on caster. I had to keep just ringing the changes, and I probably ended up with about 4 or 5 tench and about 10 to a dozen Crucians, loads and loads of rudd. It's been fun, must admit. I've enjoyed it. It's always good to get out and come down here at Milton Lake here at Bury Hill, and I'll see you again soon on Fishing Tail Films.